Hey everybody, One here. It is Thursday, March 20th, about 2:30 in the morning, just a little bit before then. I'm pretty tired, but we're going to go ahead and swing for the fences here. Mainly because I really want to get Freeze Blade and Trap Shadow introduced so we can upgrade them. This weekend, since this is, what is this? Part 64? I think this is part 64. Real quick, just before we get into things, assuming I get this video up tonight, which I hope to do. Um, this Sunday at Target here in the U.S., that's the 23rd of March, that's when Nitro Freeze Blade is supposed to drop. Good chance that some stores will have him out early. Some of them possibly will sell him. Should come up, don't sell early. Kind of, the same thing they've done with other things they've screwed up. But nonetheless, if you want Nitro Freeze Blade, I know some of you don't care about that. Some of you just buy the special version of the character. For example, you wouldn't care to have Magna Charge, but you wanted Nitro Magna Charge. You don't really care for the standard counterparts if you have a legendary, things along that line. And the majority of you probably, regardless of whether you can have them both or not, would prefer to have both of them. So that's the camp I'm in, mainly because what I like about having the in-game variant, I can take Freeze Blade, I can take him down one of the paths for the top and bottom. Nitro Freeze Blade, different character, adds to your collection, works towards your accolades and quests, all that jazz. More importantly though, then I know I can take the other path. I don't have to buy two of the exact same character. It's essentially what you're doing, but the fact that it appears differently in the game, kind of, it works for me. But that said, we're just going to go ahead. He's on the portal here. I've kind of been playing around with him. That was actually right at the start of this video, prior to recording, was my first experience with Freeze Blade. Reason for that, we have used him. He's appeared in videos, but it was always my nephew using him. My nephew's a big time fan of the idea of an ice element. He's kind of pushed for that. We know it's water, but it's just one of those things. So that said, I guess what we will do, since we're on the screen, we'll just come over here, Spyro's head. Always do that. Did that last time too. Again, it had been a long time since we had to do an introduction. That said, if you wanted to see the little accolades that we acquired with Freeze Blade, can't think of what it was called, but it's basically, he's our other speed character. So he joined Magna Charge. It had some name. Same with Trap Shadow and Stink Bomb. So that said, it was in those other videos. If you have to have an exact name or something, my apologies on that. But we were really excited to get those guys going head to head. So we're going to come into Water Skylanders. Conveniently, right here, very first character is Freeze Blade. His slogan, keeping it cool. He's got a pretty good voice, I think, in this game. Let's go ahead now and read that bio. That's a really cool. I've been impressed with a lot of these. You don't see them on the cards or in the game much, but whoever did the artwork here for the biography pages, really like what they did. This is no exception. Freeze Blade, again, slogan, keeping it cool. When he was young, Freeze Blade's family moved from the frozen wastelands of Vesh, again, that sounds like a place we may visit in the coming future, to the Great Lava Lakes. That's quite the adjustment for, and that would be like a kid from Quebec moving to Houston, something along those, or probably something, equatorial, would be a better example. But as it turned out, this was a very difficult adjustment for Freeze Blade. Not only was he the sole one of his kind, it was also incredibly hot, and there was no ice to skate on whatsoever. Again, picture someone from Canada obsessed with hockey going towards the mid-latitudes and not being able to play hockey because there's no ice or winter. But over the years, he learned to fit in with the other fire-like creatures and even discovered he had a magical ability to ice skate on any surface, even bubbling lava. One day, while out setting a new frozen lava speed record, he came across Blast Zone, who had just been ambushed by some nasty spellpunks. After Freeze Blade stepped in to defend him, Blast Zone was so impressed by his skill in battle that he introduced him to Master Eon, who invited him to join the Skylanders. Again, as you should know by this point in time with these new landers and swappers, I'm a big fan when other characters are mentioned. In this case, it's Blast Zone. Kind of puts a special connection between those two, in my opinion, even though they are, kind of polar opposites, literally polar opposites, if you will. But I kind of like that change of pace in the bios. You know, it's pretty much the same thing, but it just adds that other little element in there. So, nice background story there. We're gonna come out here. Let's go ahead and get kind of the, I guess for most people it would be the boring stuff. But I come in
above the rest.
Take a look at the stats. I didn't really hear what he said. I have the TV turned down. Sadly, since my nephew played as him so much, he's level 3. That's a good thing, but it kind of skews his statistics here. I think box stock he was 280. At level 3 he's 336. Speed very impressive at 50. Armor box stock is 6. Critical hit box stock is 8, not 9. Reason for that, I have some charm. This was before I knew that those missions would give you things that actually instantly applied. So 8 box stock plus 1 from the charm, 9. Elemental power plus 56 box stock, that would be 25 there. So let's back at it here, come into upgrades. This is the big one. Probably should have done quests first. Kind of build up the excitement here, but nonetheless, with the swappers you can upgrade the top and you can upgrade the bottom. From this point forward, until I tell you otherwise, everything we're talking about is on the top, or the freeze blade end, the freeze end of freeze blade. Again, it's kind of confusing, but I think most of you should have kind of picked up on things by now. Alright, what he has to begin with, again, I have no idea how to pronounce that. Chakram, who knows. That thing, it looks cool, that's all that really matters, and it does good damage for box stock. Press Y to throw an icy whatever that is. So 3 purchased upgrades here before you pick a path. First one is Frostsicle. This actually seems pretty cool. It's 192. Every price you see is going to be with, you know, all of the winged sapphires from the story mode. If there are any others in, you know, the bonus missions, etc., I do not have them. I don't know about them. As far as I know, this should be it from just the chapter level. So press X to fire a shard of ice that freezes enemies. Next up is Icicles. Chakram, or whatever that is, gains a new layer of ice, making attacks do increased damage. That runs 512. Final purchased upgrade for the top end is called Frigid Whirl. Hold Y to charge the chakram, then release to throw it. And again, for those of you that like to correct people's pronunciations in the comment sections on YouTube videos, just beware. Very few of you actually that do that know how to use accent marks or anything in your comments, which I don't even think is an option in YouTube comments, and therefore it really does no good. Unless you can, you know, make a video response to something, it's just a disservice to everyone. So just leaving it at that. Now, what you can do with the swappers, you've got 2 upgrade paths for the top and the bottom. Sadly, just like New Landers that we saw in Giants and now in Swap Force, once you take a path, you're locked into it. To take the other path, you have to reset. Again, that's the perk to your Series 2s and 3s. But I think he has Blizzard Blade and Ice Sculptor, I believe is what these are. This top one would be Blizzard Blade. It begins with Shaved Ice. Pretty good names in this one. Hold Y to charge the chakram, release to throw the chakram, and shoot ice in every direction. Sounds really neat. Final one for Blizzard Blade is going to be Whiteout. Ice projectiles from Shaved Ice do increase damage. I can tell you right now that would be the path my nephew would prefer, so in the event I upgrade this guy before Nitro comes out, that's probably what I'll take. Bottom path here for the top. Again, I know that's confusing. This one's called Ice Sculptor, Oh Snow. Hold X to charge Frostsicle. Release to freeze an entire area. It's a shame that that is separated from the chakram upgrades, because that would be quite the impressive character. You know, if he was just a New Lander or something. You know, we'd have that 3rd upgrade in there. Anyway, next one here is Ice to Meet You. Frostsicle and Oh Snow do increased damage. Now, Soul Gem on the top is called the Winter Shock. They just use that thing endlessly. I guess just to torment people who don't know how to pronounce it. Chakram attacks have increased critical hit chance and do extra frost damage. So, looks like he's going to be pretty fun either way. Again, it'll probably come down to damage numbers, possibly playstyle, but I honestly right now don't see a disadvantage to either path. So, we're going to back out now, come to the bottom. From this point forward, everything we're talking about applies to Blade, the legs, the lower end, the bottom half, whatever you need to call it. So, What he has right now is Speedy Skate. Press A to dash forward a short distance and damage enemies in the way. I think this was doing like 16 to 24. We'll double check that when we back out. 3 purchased upgrades. First one, 192, is Ice Trail. Dashing leaves behind a trail of ice that slows enemies, so that's kind of Zap-esque, if you will, from the water element. Next up is Glacial Coat. Huge fan of this anytime armor is included and not tied in with a path. Armor increased as tough as a glacier, so very interesting there. Next up, Bladed Butterfly for 640. This is his final purchased upgrade. Hold A to perform a fancy skating trick that damages all enemies nearby. Not the coolest thing in the world, but if it does more damage, I am all for that. Now, on the bottom end, you've got 2 paths, again, essentially for, lack of a better way to describe it, top and bottom. Top in this case, I think, is Trail Freezer, and the bottom is Ice Skater. So, Trail Freezer, we begin with Flash Freeze. Press A to dash. I just swatted something out of the air. I don't know what it was. It's one of those things. I wish people could see me when I do this. It would be hilarious. I just randomly paused, and there was this like buzzball or a bug. I'm not sure which. Anyway, press A to dash. Dashing will now leave behind an ice trail that damages enemies. So that right there, I guess, what were we doing? Slowing them right there with ice trail. And now we're actually going to have the ice trail damage them. So if you enjoy slowing the enemies, or find that you use that a lot, this would probably be the path you would want to take. That's followed up with Nice Ice. Flash Freeze does increase damage, a nasty case of freezer burn. So, coming down to Ice Skater path. Again, this looks pretty cool. I have to say, even if you don't want I know some of you hate the colors on the Nitro figures. I feel like he's a character you'd probably want 2 freeze blades regardless of how you do it. 2 nitros, 2 standards, 1 of each. It just looks like he's got, very good paths top and bottom. So Penalty Frost, though, is going to be the first for Ice Skater. Press A to knock back an enemy. Wherever the knocked back enemy lands will cause a large freezing explosion. That's something we'll have to see with enemies, but it sounds really neat. Next up is Iced Skates. Penalty Frost, which we just bought, does increase damage. Don't worry, this is not a typical sports penalty. Now the Soul Gem for the bottom end. It looks like this isn't tied in with anything either. Iceberg Endurance. Dashing does increase damage and does not stop when attacked. Not sure that the damage will be a rapid increase or a significant one, but what I like is that it does not stop. It's one of those things that's really annoying when you're like doing a charge or a flight attack in this game and you like get hit and you just land back down and have to reinitiate it. The fact that you can continue on as you were, very, very nice. That said, that is his top and bottom. That's kind of a preview. Again, I'll get him upgraded really fast for you. But we're going to come in now, go to quests. First 6 of these are, pretty much mundane, should know them by now. Feed 1,000 enemies, eat fruit, non-story mode, full health, 10 PvP. Again, my nephew took 3 of those already. Reach level 20, fully maxed out. You know how I feel about those. 7,500 elemental bonus damage. Now, the 2 that matter here for the water element, really. Defeat a total of 25 fire golems. Again, you kind of have to set that up or remember it. Aficionado, catch 25 fish with a fishing rod. If you're done replaying the level, or levels I should say, not many you can actually fish in, but just take care of it in hollow. That's probably your best bet. Plus you can get multiple fish at a time. So the big one here, however, literally the big one and the one we care the most about, is Freezeblade's personal quest. Chill out for a second. Freeze 100 enemies with your Frost Sickle attack. I don't think I'll have any problems with that one because Frost Sickle looks like a pretty sweet attack to me. So that said, we're going to back out of here, back out of there, come back to Woodboro. Here's a look at him. Again, I'm not a huge fan of that purple that he's kind of wearing right now. I guess it works pretty well. Personally, I would have preferred like a, I don't know, if you take that blue on the power pod, kind of mellow it out a little bit, make it a little bit brighter, that would have worked fine for me. I realize that would have kind of clashed with the ice, or I guess it wouldn't have clashed but blended in, but again, purple, just not something I'm a huge fan of. That said, I think most people have been very receptive to his styling. Moving around, you can actually see here much better in the game than on the figure that those are in fact ice skates. They're literally like sharpened ice razors, if you will. So it's pretty cool. The cloud behind him, you kind of get a feel for what those upgrades might be like. What does he look like when he jumps? Actually, it's kind of like a ski jump. Think about it, looking back on the Wii Fit days. Still play that button. Check that out though, that's kind of cool. They could have done something crazy or something flip, but that actually works well given that the guy's on ice skates. Granted, skis would have made more sense for that jump, but I mean, they're not far from the tree there. Now, secondary attack, what was it called? I think Speedy Skate. You basically just press A. You can actually pick up the speed if you like time this correctly. A lot of people don't realize that. Note how quick he's going there. I'm actually doing a pretty good job of syncing everything. If I just come in here and tap A, it's a little bit slower. That said, check this out. Close quarters, skate right through at 16. You do have to press A right now. You can't hold it down. From time to time, that'll actually spit out a 24. I guess I'm not sure it's there. Primary attack, which is the shock ram, shakaram, shakaram, who knows what it's called. The sheep's about to find out the hard way that it does 30 damage. If I'm not mistaken, there was the 45. So 30 standard, 45, I guess, time to time, critical scenarios, etc. That said, my nephew, huge fan of Freeze Blade. Hopefully all goes well this Sunday and I can actually acquire Nitro Freeze Blade. I actually like Target, they're less crowded than Walmart, always, which is nice. The issue is sometimes they are very, very poorly managed in regards to things like this. Particular stock, you know, sometimes if it is available the day of, very limited stock. Once it's gone, Granite Crusher to date, I got the last two at Target on launch day at Skylanders Giants. I never again saw Granite Crusher at my local store. Anyone that knows me knows that Skylander hunting happens in my life all the time, pretty much once, twice a week, several different stores. Again, in Target I run routine errands too anyway, so I always swing by. Mainly, and that's even like when there's no new characters. We could get to a lull where everyone's released and we're waiting for the 4th installment. I'm that guy that still goes by just in the odd event that there's like something freak, factory error, variant, something along those lines. So I really do hope that I'm able to land him, that he's stocked pretty well. We'll kind of have to see how it goes. But looking forward to upgrading this guy. More importantly, I'm looking forward to getting the second Freeze Blade, hopefully of the Nitro variety, and taking him down the other paths. I think I may do the Ice Skater path with Nitro, and then maybe Ice Sculptor with Nitro. I don't know, just top end I'm kind of conflicted on, but the bottom end I want to do the Speedy type thing with the Speedy character, if that makes sense to anyone. So that is probably what I will do, but for now, I believe we are done here. So I'm going to pull Freeze Blade. Actually, I'm not. I'm going to quit recording. I'm going to do my little money trick with Popthorn and the Sky Diamond. Get him the necessary money to upgrade. I've gotten to a point now where I can pretty much do it with one Sky Diamond, get him to roughly the 12,000 or so he's going to need. And then I'm going to get Trap Shadow on here, introduce him. It's getting pretty late now, but there's a good chance that I might go ahead and upgrade somebody tonight, so we'll just kind of see how that goes. Speaking of the upgrades, if you see these videos, I've got a poll on the blog regarding how you want to see the upgrades. It's kind of complicated because it's a ton of information with these Swap Force characters. I essentially want to know if you want to see standalone videos, each highlighting everything, coming in and doing the separate paths. If you want to see a video that does the complete character box stock to Soul Gem with a second video that highlights only the other paths that I didn't take. There's all sorts of options. Just let me know what you want to see. I'll try to make it happen. Again, issue I'm getting right now is it's kind of like mixed feedback. There's really no consensus on what people want to see, so it doesn't help me much. because that's what I was conflicted on. So anyway, I'll do something that'll work out really well. My upgrade videos are going to be very detailed, give you all the information and more you would ever need to know to make the best decision for you and your Skylanders. So that's the ultimate goal there. I'm going to quit rambling so we can get to Trap Shadow. Very big fan of Trap Shadow here. So as always, thanks for watching. You can follow me on Twitter, like me on Facebook, circle me on Google+, whichever you prefer. Check out the blog for tons of Skylanders information. I'm checking this out right now, and it is not looking good. We have way more commentary than we do video, so probably dropped a lot of frames, no clue why, but I'll try to piece this together as best I can. So thanks for watching, and I will catch you back here for Trap Shadow.